supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to talk about Steven Segul, sexual assault, and male and female equality. Now, I will deal with this Steven Segul first. I've always been a fan of Steven Segul in a lot of his movies because of the martial arts and the smooth type of character that he played in those movies. But he's under attack now by the liberals because he's siding with Russia and I guess the Trump administration to some degree, because they're all in a bed together right now. So all of these individuals on the right are now coming under attack. That's why Trump is being under attack for these sexual allegations dealing with Stormy Daniels and some other women he supposedly groped or whatever. They're using the feminists to attack the right. Now, that's what's interesting about feminists, is because they can be manipulated as well. The feminist agenda is not clear cut. You got to keep that in mind. The old feminists used to have values and principles that they stood for, but the new feminists are political whores that can be manipulated. You see that with Farrakhan and the Million Women March. You see the feminists, certain Democratic or liberal feminists, getting behind Farrakhan. How can a Million Women's March of all nationalities and all ethnicities, the leader, co-founder of the Women's March, be behind the black male patriarchy represented by Farrakhan? We see the correlation between marches, Farrakhan being the king of marches in America, so there's some correlation there, but then there's some other correlations that don't really fit. A lot of the Democrats, a lot of these black Democrats go and be under Farrakhan because they want the political power that Farrakhan possesses within the black community. So the feminists see Farrakhan has a lot of power and a lot of influence, and they're willing to climb themselves up the ladder. Those women that are power hungry, that supposedly represent the feminists, but they don't really represent all female feminists. They're just a different type of elite power group themselves that's using political manipulation tactics in order to gain more political power in this country. That's why they would sit down with someone such as Farrakhan. But they're being manipulated. The feminists are being manipulated right now. And that's what the whole Russia thing is about. That's why the dude down in Alabama that was running for office, I believe it was Senate, Roy Moore, I believe, he didn't get in office because the feminists attacked him by using allegations against him that would have to be, I don't know, 30 or 40 years. Using allegations against him that was old allegations. And so you see the feminists using the same attacks with other male influential figures. You see them using the same attack. They did it. They're doing it to Bill Cosby. Did it to Trump. I mean, the list just goes on. So this is why Steven Segul is coming under attack. Whether he really did it or this event is even true or it happened in reality is a whole nother conversation. But Steven Segul is too in the bed with Russia, put him too in the bed with Trump. The liberals hate him. And the liberals use the feminists against people on the right that they hate, or rich, powerful, influential males. Now let's go into the allegations a little bit about Steven Segul. I only want to deal with one by, I think her name is Viola Davis. And her unique situation, she says she was 17 years old when this happened. Very unique situation because she was not forced, according to her testimony. According to her press release, Steven Segul didn't really force her to do anything. She felt overwhelmed mentally, emotionally, or psychologically. She felt overpowered. She says, but she wasn't forced, and nowhere in her press release did she say she said no at any point in this interaction. To me, that type of allegation, and I'm not going into all the allegations against Steven Segul. I told you I feel like it's a conspiracy and the feminist is being used as a tool. But that particular allegation makes deeper points. It shows how a large percentage of these sexual assault claims contradict male and female equality. Because if man and woman are equal, like the feminists try to present, and it's funny how the feminists can present male and female equality, but they can get behind a sexual assault case like Viola Davis. It's really a contradiction, because if men and women are equal, then that wouldn't hold up. She wouldn't have no case. A lot of these sexual allegation situations would not have they would not have a case. It takes some type of misanthropy, some man hate, hating the so-called power that a man has over a woman, the envy of male power. It takes that in order to go at these men when there was no physical dominance. If men and women are equal, how could Steven Segul overpower her? How do you overpower somebody that's equal to you without a very strong enough, without a serious battle, without serious resistance and serious conflict, or the evidence of enough conflict or resistance to prove equality? How is that possible? Now we know physically some men can overpower women, just like physically some men can overpower other men. So if a man is physically overpowering someone, or any human being is physically overpowering another human being, then to me that has nothing to do with gender. That's just one person stronger than another taking advantage of another person that's weaker than them. To me, that's beyond gender. So I can't say that men and women are not equal because there's some men that are stronger or bigger than women. That's not my argument. Or that women feel like they are physically equal to men. I hope not. Maybe they do. But I'm not even making that argument, because it's obvious that men are stronger than women, and that Steven Segul is stronger than Viola Davis. So I'm not talking about physical assault or violent, aggressive rape allegations. I'm talking about mental and psychological overpower, being mentally, psychologically, and emotionally overpowered. Because if he didn't do anything physical to restrain her or to force her into the act, then she must have felt in that moment psychologically or emotionally inferior to Steven Segul. So he overwhelmed her mentally and psychologically because he was superior mentally. He had a superior or dominant force or energy mentally or psychologically over her. And that would be her case. And that would be her argument. And then that would prove that men are mentally or emotionally or psychologically superior to women. If that happened. And then you would have to go ask, well, then why would a feminist push that case, push that argument? Because that argument is counter to feminism, that men and women are equal. Because if a man made the same claims that she made, it wouldn't be taken seriously. That's like Terry or whatever his name is, the black guy that said Weinstein groped him in front of his wife. Nobody takes that male on male sexual assault serious unless to show some violent confrontation or that they was physically overpowered or there was some physical to ensue. Another man can't say be in a sexual encounter with another man and then say, you know, and they didn't say no and they was mentally and psychologically overpowered. You asked a man, well, did you say no when this other man was trying to have sex with you? Then they're going to say, well, I was unable to say no. I was overpowered. Nobody want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. And it would be the same thing if you had two women. One woman claiming to be raped by another, but the other woman didn't say no. And ended up in the act. Nobody gonna want to hear that she was mentally and psychologically overpowered. Nobody wants to hear that. They want to see the resistance to force. They want to see how one individual really had advantage over the other physically through weapons or force or something. You can't just say I was mentally overpowered and I just surrendered mentally. You ain't gonna say that. So if feminism was correct, if men and women were equal, then each and every one of those sexual assault cases will have to be thrown out. Because the basis of those arguments wouldn't work anymore. Now with the Cosby situation, these women were saying that they were drugged. Okay, you were drugged, so you were their minds was nullified. They was sedated. They was mentally disabled to make a conscientious choice or to be able to resist. Okay, that's a given. But when you got a regular woman and a regular man in a regular mindset, and the woman saying that she was mentally overpowered or mentally overwhelmed by a man, and it happens over and over again, it makes the argument that men are mentally and psychologically and emotionally more powerful than women. And if that's true, and that all these men need to be criminalized for being aggressive or being forthright in these type of sexual encounters, if they should be prosecuted for this and criminalized for this, then we have to throw out feminism. We have to throw out male and female equality. That it can be convenient. Male and female internal equality, psychologically or mentally, emotionally, it can be applied convenient when it is convenient. When you want a job, it's convenient. We're equal. In the workplace, we're equal. Our payroll is equal. Our everything we get in society is equal. But then when it comes to the confrontation or the interface between man and woman, she conveniently is overpowered. She conveniently is mentally inferior and has no control over a situation when dealing with another man. You can't do them both. Those type of sexual assault claims contradict male and female equality. And the man is going to jump on the side of that woman and say, well, I understand you overpower. I understand that this man was mentally stronger than you and took control over the situation mentally, and you was inferior and you was vulnerable and you had there was nothing you can do. That contradicts any feminist notion or any feminist idea that we are equal. It's thrown away immediately. Immediately. And feminists know this, but they don't even care about what pure fundamental feminism is now. It's just political now. It's a political agenda of what this group of people that consider themselves to be feminists can get, and how they can have political control and influence based on their agenda in society. And right now, they're using their power against the left. And this whole male attack right now has arisen as a weapon against the left. And it worked with Roy Moore in Alabama. It worked with getting somebody out of the White House. I can't even remember their name. It's worked multiple times. It's working in Hollywood. But it's for an agenda now. Just the whole thing with Monique coming with Netflix, that she's riding the Rosa Parks train, she's riding the civil rights train, she's riding the anti-racism train, because she's riding the woman, the gender inequality train, because she wants something out of Hollywood. So Hollywood is being extorted. The government is being extorted now by a particular group of feminists that are not even fundamental feminists. They're just pimping feminism as a political vantage point. But that's all I want to speak on. I know that Steven Segul made Tai Chi his way out of this situation. I don't agree with, a lot of views of Steven Segul and dealing with Putin and leaning towards the left, and a lot of conservative values and dealing with Russia and all that. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm still a fan of Steven Segul to the end. Above the law, you know what I'm saying? This is King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.kingnobleuncensored.com. Donate and don't hate.